Hello friends, have a good time. We are at your service with Shabnameh. I think that's enough. Pay attention to this sentence that I say. Then tell me how true this sentence is in your opinion, and how nonsense it is. Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. America's attack on West Asia. We want to go back 20 years. America's attack on West Asia, not to deal with terrorism, it was to free oil from the clutches of Shiites. How true do you think this sentence is? Now, everyone gives an answer in their own opinion. Let us add one more sentence. In the case of September 11th, all those who attacked the American towers were Saudis. Okay. Sir. When you say these things, it seems like you should have attacked Saudi Arabia. This should have attacked Saudi Arabia. But his policy towards Saudi has not changed. Instead, he came and attacked, to the places where he felt that the Shiites could do something there. What did he do next? After his presence here, it has gained meaning. We witnessed that Takfir has come to life here. Takfir has come to life in the geography in which Shiites have played a role. Sir, was the attack on West Asia to separate the Shiites from the energy centers or not? We want to go about 300 years ago, check and see if this was a form or not. 300 years ago, in a place called West Asia region, we witnessed an Iranian, in this Iran, take a group with religious beliefs from current Afghanistan so that we can go, reach Karbala, until we go to reach Najaf, until we go to Kufa, Baghdad, and these were dominated. That is, 300 years ago, when you used to hit your head and chest, you used to say, "Oh Hossein." One person could not say, "Why are you beating the head and chest for someone who is not in Iran?" Where, it is not here in Iran. In fact, it is a part of Iran's geography. Now all this has been forgotten. That we should come and explain to some people about the right thing we are doing. Let's inform. Let go of these. Pay attention to what I am saying. You were present in Iraq, in the parts that had oil, had energy, and things like that. You had Bahrain. You had 3 islands. This way. Sir, you have a lot of control over the energy. In what circumstances? In a situation where the world is heading in a direction where the whole world will need oil. So I have to make a cut here in the map. Let me put a ruler, collect you, your hands and feet, put it in a narrower circle, and finally do some work. They did all this. They came forward, arriving in the region where people were separated from each other in its borders. A common culture brought them together again. I want to read a report for you. I don't want to sum up my sentence, I don't want to sum it up. I want to read a report. Next, we're going to go over some very strange, and specific, comments together. A few words are being said, and doubts that are worth talking about. We come forward from the text for you. Think about the things that are said here. We don't want emotions at all these nights. In this program, every friend, every loved one, every light of the eye, brought their feelings with them. Please come out. We want to discuss science these few nights. Let's go and read the article together. Energy is the driving force of industry and global economy. Today, more than any era, it is important in the equations of domestic and international politics. Geopolitics of energy studies the role and effect of energy and its various aspects and dimensions on the politics and power and relationships of various nations and governments. He says, sir, at all, they sit and think about this for hours. Because it has an effect on the economy, it has an effect on livelihood, it has an effect on the pockets of nations, it has an effect on the fate of the West. He says, in all of these, which they investigated, they saw that there is a region called West Asia, there is a place called Persian Gulf countries. Sir, why the character of Hossein ibn Ali, on the eve of Muharram? Why is the Ashura ceremony being brutally attacked? Because it is a non-Iranian issue. One thing, some Iranians were found, it is not known from where in history, they came to this land. They have occupied our land. And then they are hitting on the head and chest for a person who is not Iranian at all. Right now, if I tell you in the field, for example, sports. Name one person who has a lot to say in football. Everyone names 4 to 5 non-Iranian faces for me. Now let me tell you, sir. You are nationalism, you are patriotism. Why are you saying such and such? It has nothing to do with it at all. Analyzer. Why are you mixing patriotism with this issue? Everything is in its place. You asked a question and the answer is this. In the field of art, explain a problem to us. For example, our sister in America is working hard in Hollywood. Or a certain brother of ours in a certain place, for example. He is a Christian. Well, doesn't Iran have cinema? Now, to Iranian cinema, we have a lot of criticism and these things for it. A dumb person is too much in it. But in their specialized field, is there a first-class person or not? To know and understand his own work. He finally has some people. So why when we talk, we come to the issue of religion, the narrative that they are presenting to a part of their audience, the traitorous media to the country. They are the monarchist media. They are trying to move the story in such a way that the audience does not understand these facts. Why are they doing this? I want to give a wrong answer again. Because the culture of Ashura, the culture of Muharram, for example, Imam Hossein and the like, is hitting Iran and Iranians. Okay. He is hitting Iran and Iranians. Now I ask you another question. How are you? Subversive media and traitors to the homeland, and the like, agree to attack Iran. They say this explicitly. They agree with sanctioning Iran. Why? Because he says he will put pressure on the nation. But even though it is promoted through the culture of Imam Hossein and Ashura, in Iran, they are against the destruction of Iranians. Aren't you saying that these will destroy the Iranians? So, let it be promoted, and let these go to destruction. You agree with these sanctions. This embargo helps them to kneel. You even agree with America's attack on them. That when the Zionist regime says, "Sir, Netanyahu threatened, he will do something," you will be happy. So when you say that this culture is destroying Iran, why don't you let it be promoted to destroy Iranians? Because the story is the opposite. Because Iran eats bread from the thing that holds its flag. It is helping nations to understand the game correctly. And it is presenting a different literature compared to the West. If you had a theater, and if you had so and so. I had Tazia, from France and many other places, during the Safavid and Qajar period. They used to come from England, from other places, and sit, and watch Tazia here. And as Orientalists, they went and wrote its explanations and details in their books and explained them. Whatever he had, I had a model in front of it, I made it. But my model was aggressive. My model is smarter. They came and cut in the region, and we reached today, to get to this sentence that I want to tell you, to see how miserable they are. Gone, all worked, and through the region together, changed the geography. He says, this group we are talking about means Shiites and those who are of the same mind as them. Including the Sunnis and other groups. And other groups, hopefully, we will talk about them one day. He says, the ones we are talking about are around the Persian Gulf. They make up 61% of the population of the Persian Gulf countries. Some say, the number of these natives in these countries may be even higher. Nearly 30% of oil production and half of its reserves are located in the countries where they are present. In addition to the West's concern about the concentration of energy reserves and production in the region, what has caused Western countries and regional governments to worry? The overlap and matching of the geography of the oil fields, and the focus of the Shiites on each other. He says, they look like they don't have much population. At all, it's as if someone has divided these in the points that are concentrated and dominate these areas. What are they doing? They are attacking their religious beliefs. What are they doing? They open their hands from each other's hands. What are they doing? Iranian to Iraqi. Iraqi to Afghani. Baku to all this. All this, while sitting in Baku, a Bahraini compared to these. Sir, they want to make them hate each other and doubt their beliefs. Behold, in the issue of Hazrat Sayyid al-Shohada, they cast doubt on him in this way, and attack him in this way. That someone who is Iranian should attack it. He says, perhaps all this is a deception. He never has a chance to ask himself when it is a deception. It is the supporter of all these things in boycott and war and so on. So why doesn't he let this deception spread in you, to knock you down, so that you will perish? The audience doesn't have time to think about it. It comes with doubts that have no answer. Why doesn't he have an answer? Because those who are involved in the field of religion and such, probably felt that there is no need to explain about it. This is what I mean. When you check, you see, he is panicking from here. Let me continue reading, maybe it will be clearer. He says, this is why many experts have considered the American campaigns in West Asia, not for the establishment of democracy and the freedom of the people of the region from the clutches of terrorism and authoritarian rulers, but for the freedom of oil. Considering the importance of continuing oil exports and preventing its price fluctuations, Western countries and oil importers in the region avoid any action that could disrupt oil exports. And in this regard, supporting the promotion and establishment of democracy and human rights is of secondary importance. Let me summarize this whole story, sir. Those who should dominate the energy here are the ones, and we want those who are fully in agreement with the West. The Shia religion, with this model it has now, with this Imam Hosseini, with these anti-arrogant words it says, and with this thing it has, in the form of resistance, you promote to all nations, this is against the West. I have to do two things. 1. Those who believe this, and those who respect Hazrat Sayyid al-Shohada, and respect them, should hesitate about this issue. I have to do this in Iran. 2. I must try to transformation this issue, that is, the issue of Hazrat Sayyid al-Shohada, and the Shia issue. When I was able to do these things, now this sneaky, is losing its danger for Western thinking. Let me keep this section here. I want to tell you a few things. This report is very detailed. Now, if we want to move forward, we will really run out of time. We want to go together and read some comments from the comrades who were present in Isfahan and Yazd. Now, sir. Saudi International, look. He says. At all, this is all sadness, all sadness. Why should all this discomfort be promoted to the people of Iran? Why should it be these days that people feel bad? Every psychologist knows that this is the next. Are you sure every psychologist understands this? Now we go further, we talk about their sadness and tears. First, let's review this section about the opinion of the Westerners and see what's going on. One of my friends who talked about this issue with Western tourists, the video of which was published, said something. I want to summarize it for you. He said, a tourist from England came to Yazd to participate in the Muharram ceremony. He said, he came back and told me that I have been coming for 4 years. And my effort is to bring myself to this time, wherever I am in the world. He was defining. He said that, on the day of Ashura, this tourist who came from England was in Yazd, and we were talking. He said, it rained. He came back and told me, as if, today, the sky is crying for Imam Hussein. Now, for example, if a ceremony is held in one place, in one group, then they say, sir, it's raining outside. Now, for example, it is possible for Madad to say something like this. It is possible for the speaker to say something like this. Maybe after listening to different poems and songs, he mentioned the rain. I wish it would rain. I wish a drop of water could be found. Maybe we can talk like this after this. But the one who comes from England, who forms such a thing in his mind, is very special. At all, when you define the story for this and that, it completely changes people. People sometimes say things that are surprising. A person from Canada came to Iran and said, neither Imam Hossein, nor Hazrat Abul Fazl that you are talking about, the rest of the companions who were in Karbala, each of them has the ability to be a hero. And let's talk about them in the world. Then he says, you also have such heroes, you have not been able to introduce them to the world. If we had such people in Canada, we would have introduced them to the whole world by now. Sir, the others who are familiar with the issue of Hossein ibn Ali, without exception, they believe that this gentleman, whose shrine was in Iran until 250 years ago, because the territory was a territory that was a part of Iran. Until 250 years ago, our territory had its shrine in itself. If it was for their nationality, they were turning the world upside down with it. What did we do in this area? We were able to introduce several people to it in this area. From Mr. Hossein bin Ali, how many people were we able to tell? How much could we spread the thought of resistance with this? With our friends who, we talked, turned the world upside down. We are seeing its effects, we are seeing the change of its borders, we are seeing positive events. Has this been the case in the West? Do we look at it like this? Westerners themselves say, this is attacking us. They say, this is a thinking that, and this is something that, in front of the Western values that we put, this attack has a good effect. Do we also have a look at it? I don't think that we have such a look at it. This question is obvious. That person sitting in Saudi International says, it's all tears, it's all sadness. Why do you make people cry? I really don't know if those who focus on Hussein bin Ali for a period of time have studied psychology or not. Because I read a report about the Karbala paradigm. He used to say that, when emotions are boiling, it is a good opportunity for you to explain the most important part of your speech. Then he said, When they get sad when Hazrat Sayyid al-Shota was unjustly martyred, then they shed tears for him. Now the conditions have been created for the elders of that school and the elders of those religions to explain to these people who are shedding tears that, did you cry for him? Are you sad for him? Are you angry because of the injustice he has experienced? So learn resistance from it. He says, in these tears, he is conveying that message. It is at the height of emotions that one gets that special message. He says, they are conveying the message. Did you pay attention? Mehdi Rasuli had a comment about separatists. The BBC made a program about it. That sir they are saying their words in Muharram. Sir, one person is found. He pointed out the name of these, and spread a piece of it. Why? Because contrary to what you are saying. It's sadness, etc. I'll tell you right now. Scientifically, on top of this, it is being discussed that, in a part of his life, man needs this boiling of emotions. It has to manifest itself somewhere. Happen somewhere. Where do Iranians experience it? Iranians are experiencing it in the narrative of a person from whom the lesson of resistance can be learned. Now do you understand the reason for this thought? What is the cause of this culture? What is the reason for these beliefs? I also told my friends. With every thought, every religion, every creed, and every thought we are. If we understand that the geography of resistance is coming to life, it is breaking the borders, and it is a threat to the West. If we understand this, we should support this issue with all our strength. We should do everything we can to make this matter more exciting. A friend explained to us, he said that, we set aside an amount for families every month, for bread. Then he said, one of these families sent me a series of photos on Telegram. He said, I have prepared a series of bread and cheese to take and distribute to those who came to mourn for Imam Hossein. Then he said, he told me that we should take the bread that we set aside for this purpose, and with which we made these bites. It is the same bread that you provided us with the money for. Then he said, he was thanking me and saying that I am very grateful that you are paying for this, and I wanted to say that you are also a partner in this and be happy about it. Very strange words. Behold, this is what he needed. He brought his own need, and he is reminding the other one that, in this case, you should also feel good about it. Thousands of you, now more wonderful than this topic, definitely now in your mind. That sir that is nothing at all. I will define something like that. This is the whole story at all. The whole story is self-sacrifice. The whole thing that is happening is selflessness. Why? Because the story of Karbala is a story with ideals that came together at one point and joined together and recorded that historical event. I don't have any other points. If you have any points, please send them in the form of a message. It will help this report to be more complete with your message. Dear friends, I am very sincere. I have a lot of devotion. Have a good time.